the ugly side of the beautiful game. This is what officers face at football matches every week.
Football isn't just a game, it's much more important than that. It's our life, it's our feelings, it's our passion. It dictates our mood. We love football, we live it, we breathe it, we eat it. Football is everything. It's football heritage. The pre-game nerves, the nail-biting moments, nothing beats a derby day.
We're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Gareth Southgate! In contrast to the tone of much Shearer, who hits it! And scored! Make the time for Manchester United with Beckham! That's his chances. Oh, brilliant goal! A brilliant goal!
Losing is no option.
Where they play, how they play, if they play. That's football heritage.
Yes, good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of Rivals React. Hope you enjoyed the intro. Look who we've got. We've got some lovely faces with us today. We've got some great football clubs being represented. No, we haven't. We've got some football clubs being represented. We've got Man United being represented by Dan at United First. How are you, Dan? You well?
Loving life, mate. International break gives me a chance to forget about club football for a little bit, and then I had to watch that shower of shite last night. So it goes from bad to worse. I might take up tennis, I reckon. Surely there's got to be something in that.
Yeah. Listen, I know. Welcome to what the rest of us have been going through for about 2 decades. Don't worry about that, mate. We've also got Kunle is here from Tunnel TV. Big up, my man. How are you doing over there with Arsenal colours on?
Oh yeah, now my people, it's your dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, then tonight you go understand. Big up the panel. Thanks, Savva, for having me on the channel. Smash the like button, my people. And yeah, I'm representing the great side of North London. Arsenal. Big up.
Big up to you, my man. Big up. Judge Mo, who I have christened as an Arsenal fan. He's convinced me so much that Arteta can win this league title that I'm just believing that he is Arsenal now. Judge Mo, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. Happy to be here. That intro raised the hairs on my arms, to be honest. I'm like watching this and I'm like, what is going on here? It's greatness. Football heritage is greatness, to be honest. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here.
Always. And before I come to you, Perchy, as well, listen, some people in the chat love the intro. Some are saying make it shorter. The reason for the intro is to build up the number of people joining a show, just in case people didn't quite understand the point of why we do the intro. Big up Perchy as the Tottenham Hotspur representative, the has-beens, the can't win a trophy football club. How are you?
I'm good. I feel privileged to be part of big teams like Chelsea and Man City in the scandal front today. After hearing about the Jermaine Defoe saga, it feels good to be part of them lot. Maybe they might take away a Carabao Cup from us. God, I feel privileged.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's interesting. And by the way, there will be a 6th person, LB from It's LB, and Man City will be joining us. He said at 10 past, so he's running late. But they're Man City. They break the rules whenever they want, don't they? It doesn't matter. They don't care. And what I did find funny, it is their world. We're just living in it. What I find funny is all of this. We're gonna talk FFP. We're gonna start with FFP and all this nonsense that's going on in football at the moment. But before we do, it's like you've got Chelsea proper breaking rules. Like Chelsea are out there proper splashing billions of pounds. Man City, they're not breaking one rule. They're doing 115. Everton are breaking a rule. And then Tottenham Hotspur decide, you know what? We're going to get in on this act. And there's a story flying around today about Jermaine Defoe when he signed for Tottenham in 2008. Apparently, it was all a bit below the belt, should we say, brown paper envelopes, and that is as scandalous as Tottenham get.
You beat me to it, Harry Redknapp, 100%.
Of course it is. Harry Redknapp hanging out of his car window, signing Nico Cranchar for the 15th time in his career. You've got to love a bit of Harry Redknapp. Guys, listen, I want to talk about. Look, it is International Week, so we haven't got loads and loads of Premier League games to talk about apart from what's coming up, and we will get to that. But all the news has been dominated in the last week or so by obviously Everton and their 10-point deduction. Man City automatically get dragged into that conversation with, oh my God, well, hang on, if Everton have got 10 points, then Man City need to be relegated to like the Northern Isthmian or whatever that league's called. Chelsea, they're all going, oh my God, we've broken loads of rules as well. I don't know. The world's gone mad. Let me start with you, Kunle. Have we got to the point where football is absolutely ridiculous that we've allowed this to happen, that the rules in place actually allow for these things to happen?
What, to be honest, like, to put that to the side for a second, what I've learned, first of all, this week in this international break is taught me that England are not allowed to play the likes of Macedonia and Malta again because the press just go mad. They've literally lost the plot. We're here, a team got deducted 10 points, but everyone's talking about the ones that haven't been punished yet. It's just crazy. It can only happen with the Premier League. So, like I'll be honest with you, Savva. Like, the rule game, I don't really get involved in it too much. I'm a football fan. I just want to discuss red cards, VAR, sending off points, and all that. But what this is doing, because I think the media have been so lazy, they forced this story upon everyone. Even the Spurs one, like how many years ago was that we're forcing this into conversation now? They forced that in. So everyone now believes that they're politicians, accountants, bank, all these different things. Like it's crazy to me. Like, let's just focus on playing football. If they've cheated, once they've been deducted or penalized, that's something to discuss personally for me. City, I believe that some of those charges have to be real. Some of them, at least 115. Like, come on, what are we doing there? Like, some of them have to stick. But until they officially stick, it's a non-discussion for me. For me personally, I get what others are talking about it because it's a hot topic and they're the best team in the world right now. But for me, the rules are the rules, man. Let's just keep it pushing and focus on the football for now, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Mo, I'll come to you. Don't listen. We're half the problem because we're YouTubers and we talk about these things, right? But so much now of football is VAR. It is now FFP. We've all turned into financial accountants. We're all politicians. We all seem to know the rules better than anyone else knows the rules. For that reason, has football got a little bit silly? Are we coming away from what football actually is, which is goals and red cards and penalties? And are we coming away from that a little bit?
No, I don't think so, because I think it's all related though. If you inflate the price of a player, if you pay somebody under the table to get the best coach, if you pay somebody under the table to get the best player, you're actually depriving another team from getting that particular player, which provides unfair competition. So I'm not an accountant, I don't know, but in the same time, there has to be rules. Rules were there back in the days, right? They just haven't been tight enough, or they haven't been clear enough. Now with social media, with all the press, with all the newspapers that are happening, we as fans have a window to look at these. Some of them, not everything is clear, but I think it's all connected. If Man City cheated, well, they cheated. They unfair competition for other clubs. They won trophies by cheating. They won trophies by signing the player instead of, for example, Kevin. I'm just going to give just an example for Kevin De Bruyne, for example. If Spurs signed Kevin De Bruyne, if Man United were able to sign Kevin De Bruyne, fair enough, they would have been maybe they would have won titles. But I'm just giving an example. I don't know what happened. I'm just giving an example. If Man City paid someone under the table against the rules to sign Kevin De Bruyne, that's an advantage thing to them. So that's why I know we want to focus on the football, but it's all related, in my opinion.
But Mo, nothing's happened yet, bro.
Yeah,
Nothing's
I agree with you. That's why I said nothing has happened, right? But I'm just saying why this is news, and that's why it's news, because absolutely, it's all related. When you pay someone under the table, if you are now, do we agree or not on is it fair that City aren't, like, because they were a smaller club and they were valued at 300 million, they aren't allowed to get the best players if their owner have the money? Now we can disagree on that, right? Because I think they should be allowed to sign the best player if their owner have the money. But FFP came in and said, no, you're not allowed to do that. We're gonna limit your expenses to this amount. While Man United and Liverpool have had tens of years where they were able to build. So it's all connected to each other. So just sticking to football, I think, isn't that like in the new era, we'll have to look at everything together.
Yeah, I mean, but first of all, welcome to LB. You know, as we talk about breaking rules and financial fair play, here's our man. Before we do, his arch nemesis already over at Man United. Dan, talk to me. I was having a conversation yesterday on Rance's channel, and we were talking about, has FFP being brought in actually ruined football? Because it was meant to be that it was fair play, but I still don't think, with whatever rules they brought in, it's still not fair play for absolutely anyone involved, because the smaller clubs still can't pay it. So I'm going to bring something up. I don't know how people are going to take this. Wouldn't the league be better off in saying, you know what, there is no fair play, but what we are going to do is we're going to put rules in place where you can only spend £150 million per window, or you can spend £200 million per window, but you have to receive a minimum of £100 million coming back the other way. And do that from window to window, rather than saying, oh, well, over the space of 3 years and 6 windows, you must have X amount of money. And haven't we just made it difficult for ourselves to police this?
It's going around in circles. I mean, we're talking about Chelsea being brought up for charges, but these charges are before what they're doing now. They've seen that they found loopholes, and this is it. You can put these rules in place. Clubs will find loopholes. Now, obviously, the City charges, the Everton one, the Chelsea one, that's taken a long time for them to investigate and bring in. But regardless of what rules you bring in, Savva, I just feel like there will always be a way around it. Clubs will always find a way around it. It's
sure.
Exactly that. It's as simple as that. It's money. And of the 115 charges that City have got labelled at, I don't think they'll be charged with 115. LB, do you? I can't see it happening at all.
I think it's. I think we'll get charged for non-cooperation, because we got that with UEFA, and that'll come with a hefty fine. But in terms of the footballing breaches, the financial breaches, I think it's unlikely that they'll succeed in their charges. It's possible, but I think it's unlikely that they'll succeed.
Yeah,
115 LB, 115. Who busts his case 115 times? Come on, bro.
But you have to.
I want to ask LB a question.
We will be there.
Hang on, Mo. I'll come to you in a second. Perchy, what was you going to say? You have to what?
I'm just going to say that we have to break down what these 115 charges are. By the way, they're not all financial irregularity. I can't even speak. But some of them for the length of the grass they've got at the Etihad and stuff like that. So I think we've got it's easy to put out a big number for headlines and stuff like that, but a lot of them aren't for what is all about that. I think the whole
total
point
is still
FFP,
115 Perchy though.
Yeah, but mate, the point is let's use FFP as an example, right? It's not really fit for purpose in the sense, because what it is the big clubs stay big and the small clubs stay small, right? Let's be honest. If any one of you wanted to buy your local team after winning the lottery of 500 million quid, you want to go, do you know what? I want my local football team to get to the pyramids as quick as possible. So I'm going to plow all my money and all this into the football team. You can't do that under FFP. That's the problem, right? I get it. I get why they've done it.
It's just a bit too late.
But the reason why they've done it, the FFP, was to stop basically bad owners plowing loads of money in and then going, do you know what? I'm bored and I'm going to leave, and then leave a club with mountains of debt, like for the likes of Bury and all these lot that we actually lost them. Portsmouth's another example where they go hightail it. Who remembers the Notts County case when they sold Sol Campbell and they had Sven Goran Eriksson as manager.
Let's not say that name on a Spurs related channel
I know.
again, please. Let's not say that name. We'll call him Judas from now on.
I just oh god, viewers have gone up a little bit there. So maybe we should say
from mentioning Campbell.
But the context of it all, like we use Man City as an example. People don't like it because Man City are winning it all, right? And I think this is it. Man City are winning it all, and everyone's hating on it. But Sheikh Mansour's gone in and gone, do you know what? I want to win everything. I'll go and play on my money. Why is that a bad thing? That's the question I'd ask everyone.
Actually, I have another question.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, man.
Just, to be honest with you, I think we're not accountant. LB always says that. We actually don't know. We're not lawyers, so we actually don't know what happened. But the question we need to ask ourselves and start from Man City fans themselves. Do we believe, looking at the situation, that Man City, as fans, looking at the situation from outside, broke the rules to reach the situation where they are now? That's the question we should ask. You know what? All the evidence, for example, you're looking at a situation and you see all the evidence for something that someone stole or something, right? Do we agree with the rules or not? That's for a different conversation. But we're looking at the situation. Do we believe that Man City broke the rules that they signed to reach where they are now? That's the question you should ask yourself.
Do we, LB? LB, do we?
Because lawyers, listen, because I can steal something. Okay, I can be charged for stealing. All the other people saw me carrying things outside the store, but my lawyer is so good that nobody can actually prove that, right? My lawyer can go, and it happens all the time in all the court systems and around the world. But looking at it from a logical point of view, do we believe that Man City bent the rules to actually get where they are? That's the question we should ask. As fans, we're not lawyers. This is what we should ask ourselves.
But listen, I get it. I get it. It's crazy. LB, I'm going to bring you in here just quickly before I do. Smash the like button. I've seen lots of people in the chat having a discussion about when is the right time to smash the like button on a YouTube channel. It feels like such a futile conversation. Just smash the like button, right? And we'll be good to go. LB, look, we had a chat about this briefly yesterday on with Saeed, but isn't it a case that everybody is, one, trying to make Man City guilty without actually understanding what's happened? And two, hang on, mate.
Please, quickly. Can he please just answer Mo's question before he answers yours?
Go on. Yeah, go on. What was Mo's question?
Do you think Man City have... Do
you believe
to get to where they are?
Logically, we're not lawyers, we're not accountants. Do we believe, looking at the situation from outside, with where you are right now, with all the spendings that you saw and all the enhancement to the stadium and all the stuff, do you believe that you broke the rules, even if you disagree with the rules?
Which rules?
Like you overspent.
I mean, there's so many to choose from.
That's not necessarily what we're being charged with. Yeah, be specific on the 115, bro.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Which one?
Rule
74.
No, we all know what's going on. It's taking advantage and overspending and cooking the books to make it look legit. It's
so okay. So for me to say,
I don't know, by the way.
Okay, so let me answer the question. So for me to say that I think City are guilty, I've got to believe that that certain players. Yeah, man, this is where the media training comes in. I've got to believe, that for example, like the managers received separate payments, and that they are now going to have to charge the manager with that as well. They're going to have to speak to the manager to find out about that. Are City involved in that with the sponsorships? Did we inflate sponsorships? If so, they've got to say that CEOs of listed companies are lying. CEOs that have given statements to CAS saying what you're alleging is completely ridiculous. We've got to imagine that they are lying. So I would say, nah, bro. It's, at the end of the day, it's not on me. It's not on me to disprove the allegation. This isn't how it works in court. You prove what you're saying is true, and if we're guilty, we're guilty. But it's not up to City. City can put out their defense, but it's on the onus of proof is on them. Not me.
Are you a yes or no though? I know it's not on you, but are you a yes or no on that question? We know it's not on you. This is not going to mean anything for the 115 charges, but are you yes or are you no?
My answer is Manchester City. Manchester City say they have irrefutable evidence. So in that case, I support my football club.
So did Everton.
Everton held their hands up and said we got it wrong. They didn't.
Yes.
disputed. They said
I
we
said
messed
the
up.
same
We
thing
broke
this
the
morning.
rules.
So let me give you the example, the analogy. that
He's
I
a Man
said this
United
morning.
fan. He's
They
a Man
brought
United
debate.
fan.
Let me give you the analogy that I said. The analogy that I said this morning. If I have a mortgage on my house and I fail to pay 3 months because I couldn't pay or something, I will be charged with a fine, a punishment, right? That's me being incompetent. The difference is if I don't pay for 3 months and then I cook the books to show that I paid, City's saying, I'm not saying that they cooked the book. City are saying we haven't breached anything. Our books are fine. Everton said we screwed up. We couldn't actually stay in line with the Premier League FFP. City saying we didn't do it. We paid the mortgage. You're wrong. You're all wrong. So it's completely different situation here than each other.
So you're saying City have got a Marty Bird in their camp from Ozark, cooking the books.
Oh,
Big up Marty Bird, man.
Yeah,
Cooking the books because the
one of the
FBI
best
couldn't
shows
catch
out
Marty.
there, bro.
They couldn't catch Marty, so maybe they can't catch the City boy. But you never know.
But the question for the City fan is actually like me looking at it from outside, and I'm being honest here. I can't actually judge because I kept asking myself this question. I'm being neutral and I'm being totally honest. This sponsorship deals, and people say you cannot sponsor your own team. And I explained that many times. And I spoke with LB yesterday about this. And I said, if my cousin had a company, he would be looking for the best club to sponsor. And what's the best club? It's Manchester City. So I would ask my cousin, do you want to sponsor my club? And my cousin would say, yes, of course, yes. Now, people don't know that the Premier League has a rule to actually know the value of sponsorship. So Man City could not have inflated that, by the way. The sponsorship deals are actually regulated. Man City couldn't have said, yeah, the sponsorship deal is worth 10 million. We're going to charge 50. That can't happen. There are rules against that. The problem is, have you put money under the table and you did not account for in the books? That's the charge. That's the main one. Forget the grass. Forget the color of a logo. Forget all of this.
Remember, Mo, as well, what you're talking about there, that already went to CAS. And the Court of Arbitration for Sport said there was no evidence to prove what UEFA had alleged. And they said, actually, one of the statements that the Court of Arbitration made about UEFA's judgment was I think the wording was, quite frankly, it was a dangerous statement to make. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know,
About the sponsorship, you mean?
No, the allegation that UEFA made, the Court of Arbitration for Sport said it was frankly dangerous. It was a dangerous statement.
Can I ask? I want to ask panel a question before we move on from the FFP stuff. And by the way, keep smashing the likes. Please keep subscribing.
FFP.
We're this close to 12k now. We're this close to 12k.
Guys,
if everyone could smash the subscribe button. Guys, I'm going to ask a question. Hypothetical. Anyone who knows me knows I love a hypothetical. Okay. Man City are found guilty of everything. Chelsea are found guilty of everything. Right? Everyone like, please strip all their titles. Right? What is the punishment that acts as a deterrent to Man City? Let's start with Man City. A team that, let's be fair, you could deduct them 10 points now. They'd still probably back themselves to win the Premier League title. What's the deterrent from a Man City? Seriously, what is it? Because I think they've backed themselves into a corner where what can they do to hurt Man City? £50 million doesn't hurt Man City's owners.
No, it depends.
Relegation is the only thing, bro. Relegation.
Okay. So Kuno, let me. Okay, you say relegation. LB, I'll bring you in after this. You might disagree with me, LB.
LB, your face as soon
let's turn around. Let's turn around and say at the end of this season, they turn around and say, all right, Burnley, you finished 18th. You're staying up. Man City are going down in your place. What's the point? Man City go down, win all 46 games they play next season in the Championship, probably still winning the FA Cup and the League Cup while they're down there, and then they're back up here in a year. What's the point?
Okay, great. So I'm glad you said that point.
And probably in Europe for winning the Champions League this year.
First of all,
if they won the FA Cup, they'd be back in Europe, wouldn't they?
No, wait. The first question you got to ask yourself is: after being lied to, does Pep stay? Then that brings in the factor who comes in for Pep.
He said no straight away, didn't he? He said he'd go. He said he'd go.
He'd go. So Pep's going. So Haaland ain't playing no Championship football for a season. Let's be real. He ain't staying in the Championship for a season. A couple of other players are going to leave, and maybe De Bruyne out of loyalty might stay. But let's.
You don't think enough of them stay to walk the Championship?
No, wait. Hold on. Wait, Savva. Playing in. Look, as much as the Championship's not as competitive as the Premier League, it's different, bro. You gotta move different in the Championship. I'm not saying look. Wait. Hold on. Let me land. I'm not saying Man City don't get promoted straight away. I'm not saying that, but it'll be interesting to see like what does a Man City look like in the Championship. I believe they get up. But I don't believe they challenge. Even if they do get promoted after 1 year, I don't believe they challenge straight away for the Premier League.
There are two parts here, and I'm going to bring LB in this. There are two. I don't want to complicate things. There are two parts in it. Number one, if they are proving that they breach FFP, there are laws about the point deductions and the fines, depending on how much you breach FFP, and that will be deducting certain amount of points. And if these amount of points relegate them, they'll get relegated. It won't be just relegate Man City, kick them out of the league. It won't look like that. The criminal case is that what LB is saying about like the refusal to what is it called, cooperate and cook in the room. That's completely criminal case. If they do that, the problem is gonna be is that will the Championship League accept them there? These are completely two different things. We need to, it's not just, we're not throwing like, I hate this when people just throw, let's relegate them to League One. Based on what are the numbers? Like there are a number of points to be deducted if you breach the rule by this amount, like Everton. Man City, I actually believe that the number, that the finances, they won't be relegated. They might deduct points and come 12, 13,
but Mo, Savva asked what would hurt them. I don't think they will,
but
because
it's not
the Premier
going to be
League
about
won't do
hurting
it.
them. This is to spite
I'm just
them.
going by what the question he asked.
This is to
what would
spite
hurt
them.
them, and I
Like,
think
what
that would hurt
Man City. This is just, we want to spite Man City.
No, but
Is
it's,
that the
I'm just
question?
answering, bro. I'm on someone's show. I just answer the questions, bro.
Can I ask
But
a question?
I don't think City.
Who's the politician
relegated.
now, man? I'm just asking the question.
Can I ask a question? Are people?
I'm learning from you, LB, man. I'm a good student.
Go on, Perchy.
No, I was just going to ask this question here. Are people's reaction like this because it's Man City? Because I'll say it now. If this was Burnley, I'm just, no disrespect to them, they're just one I'm picked up here. I don't think we have this reaction. It's because Man City win everything. If there was 115 charges against Southampton, we don't react like this. We're like, okay, cool. They'll get a point deduction. Might get relegated because of it, and we all move on with life. But I think this reaction, and and Mo hit the point. It is inspired. I think as football fans are so driven now at the point where, because Man City win it all, so we're out of spite. We want Man City to go relegated down the pyramid. We want them in non-league so they don't win any more Premier League titles. Is that what it is, guys?
Not
That's how it feels.
No spite. They broke the rules. No spite from Manchester United.
Hey, you should be answering. You're the only club that's broken UEFA for FFP rules this year. Your club is a cheat. You cheat. Your club cheats. Your club is shameless. You're sat here now.
You keep this energy coming, mate. You keep this energy coming. This is all being written down, because when it comes, mate, honestly, I've got captions of what you've been saying about my club. Wait till your club. I will happily drop down onto a League One show to speak to you about it when this happens. I will happily.
But LB, sorry, I had to quickly, my front door went there. Just like what I'm talking about was deterrent. It's not about what do we want to happen to Man City. What I'm talking about is as a deterrent. Is that big enough? Like, so when you look at like Rangers, for example, I know different charges, but Rangers went from the Scottish Premier League down to, is it the 4th tier? And then just went, win back. What would be the point in relegating Man City or Chelsea? Like, is there a point?
I think there is a point. I think if you was to do that, I think it's from the outside it tarnishes the club's reputation. So that's not a great situation. So I think you could do that. I don't think there needs to be any special rules. If City have broken the rules, City will get dealt with. Well, one of the things that's happening is here for the last decade, you've had a load of people, a load of these pundits coming out saying that City are guilty, right? Even though there's no evidence to prove what they're saying on this particular topic of inflating sponsorships, right? So the whole country who watches Monday Night Football every week has now just got this opinion. Furthermore, people don't actually know what they're talking about, but because they hear everybody talking about it all the time, they think they're right. For example, CB in the chat, The guy's talking absolute nonsense, and it can all be proven by just reading a document that's available online for everybody. The cash document, yeah, but nobody wants to read it because people are lazy. People just want to read something off of Twitter that some guy says and then just think it's the truth. Everything is available there to read, and then when you question them on it, they want me to tell them, no, if you're telling me what we've done wrong and I tell you you're wrong, and then you tell me that you have read the cash document, well, then in that case, you know you're wrong. It's all there available for people to see. You know what I mean? So I'm chilling, man. If my club gets found guilty, what happens? I'm not going to cry about it. It is what it is. I'll hold the L. But for people that say we're already guilty without the decision being made, they're silly, isn't it? Really?
That many you gained
a one thing,
advantage and won trophies by gaining like an unfair advantage. If you're found guilty.
If we get found guilty of inflating sponsorships to meet FFP, then as Everton have found out, slightly different circumstances. If you fail FFP, then you've gained a sporting advantage. So that's why you've got to get a sporting punishment. That's why Everton have got a sporting punishment, because the judgment concluded that they received a sporting advantage. Because obviously you have, because you spent more money than everybody else was allowed to. That's why. So you have to get a sport. So if City fail, City will get a sporting punishment, whether that's points or relegation, whatever. It's not like
you signed Rodri with illegal money and he won you the Champions League.
Maybe that. Well, actually, it's
look at it now. I'm talking about how the clubs will look at it, how people put it. You signed this player, you got this manager by illegal money. So, why do you have Rodri who scored the Champions League final? Have you ever looked at it from this perspective?
No, because I think that's silly, more.
You could go back with anything like that, though, right?
Was he celebrating? No, you're right, Perchy. Like, anyone could have scored the winner in that final. Would that have made that okay? Like,
it's not just that though. It's everything though. Like, you could argue, I don't know, say Haaland was signed with illegal money, but he was the reason that Southampton got relegated last season. Where does it end? Like, right? Where does it end? You could use it for everything. Well,
not my question, Perchy. Is it illegal money that they signed Haaland who relegated Southampton?
But
I don't care where it ends.
No, I know what you're saying.
Let them know,
I get what you're saying. But where my point
if it's not our club, we don't care.
I'm on Football Heritage, so it's all a hypothetical here, as the Savva saying. It's a hypothetical thing. It hasn't been proven. If Haaland was signed with illegal money, should his record been...
Do you get me? And should we have become second in the league? Like, I'll shamelessly celebrate the league title if we get given it shamelessly. But I don't believe they should strip titles, because at the end of the day, it's a 38-game season. I don't think they should cancel any trophies that are won, because it just gets too messy. But if they do, Savva, best believe I'll be on your stream. Everyone's streams. Shameless.
So does that mean then that when Man City beat us in the League Cup final 3 years ago, does that mean that we get given the League Cup final?
So I get what
that's how desperate I am for a trophy.
Ryan Mason winning a trophy, baby.
Dan, you definitely do a parade, Perchy. Don't lie.
Dan, Mourinho and Solskjaer.
I don't want them. I don't want them. We didn't win them. I don't want them. I don't want. I wouldn't want them. I wouldn't. We didn't win them because I know Liverpool. The first thing Liverpool fans would say, because it'd take us back across, is, "Oh, but you're only there because of a no." I don't. You win a trophy by winning a trophy.
Bruv, they can have that chant all they want, bruv. If the Premier League says that we deserve a title that we didn't get before, that's on them. It's not on me.
Shameless. Absolutely shameless. The difference between a Man United fan and an Arsenal fan right there. I don't want it. We'll take it. We will take it.
Brother. Straight, are you joking me? That's like saying you're offering a service for $1 million and someone offers you 2. Are you gonna say no? I'll just take the one, man.
No, it's
you keep
not.
The other
it's
one.
Nothing like
same thing, bro. Same thing.
Nothing like that.
You guys didn't hear Dan's logic.
It made sense to me.
Dan doesn't want him just because he doesn't want Liverpool to get them. If Liverpool were in second, he would have said no. I'll take them. He said just
straight up you would. Straight up you would.
But the thing is,
like, I don't want Liverpool to have some.
Guys, where does it end? Because like straight away, when the Everton news came out, it was Burnley and all the teams that got relegated last year going, hang on. What about us? They're gonna complain. All the teams that finished second to Man City are gonna complain. Teams that Chelsea have knocked out of cups and City have knocked out of cups, they're gonna complain. Ryan Mason's gonna be at the front of the queue claiming his title to put on his Wikipedia page. Where does it end?
But it happening.
Like,
Isn't Burnley, Leicester, they are absolutely suing Everton for the sporting advantage they took. So it's happening. Absolutely, it's happening.
Their sporting advantage was they scraped to survive in the Premier League on the last day of the season. That's not like, it wasn't like their signings. It wasn't like their signings got them the trophy. Like, I don't know. Where does it end? I don't know.
It doesn't end. There's no end to it. It doesn't. There's no end. You can go all the way to 2008, 2011, 2012 Premier League. It doesn't end. But at the end, let me just be clear here. Manchester City won the title on the pitch. There's a mess because people want to link this to the Juventus thing. Juventus literally bribed referees to win football games. Man City aren't even charged with that. Man City played football on the pitch and they won the games. Fair enough.
Players that they maybe not been able to afford, though. Let's be honest, man.
They haven't signed.
But look, nothing has happened.
You're the one who signed a £110 million player, not them. They're signing Diaz for 50 million, making him a superstar. They're signing Haaland.
Bro, hey, Mo, respectfully, Mo, I don't make the rules, my brother. If the Premier League say they broke the rules, no, hold on. If the Premier League say they broke the rules, they broke the rules. As far as I know, City have not broken a single rule yet. It's 115 charges. There's nothing to talk about yet, to be fair. It's just charges. So I want to see the headline: City get deducted or relegated. When I see that, I can start getting excited. But till then, there's nothing to discuss. Big up City.
I actually don't think FFP did the job properly, because I think FFP should be a lot better, because it would have stopped us from spending 80 million on Maguire, 80 million on Anthony, 100 million on Pogba. Why didn't it come in and do the job properly? Why didn't it come in and sort it?
But I know that you have to move on, but LB raised the point yesterday, to be honest, on the football terrace that is absolutely crucial. Even if Manchester City paid more to get the player they want, that they think it's beneficial for the squad, why shouldn't they be allowed to do that? Why did they have the question
rules,
that
bro.
we should
The
ask
rules.
ourselves is that
The rules.
why this rule was being brought on? Because to prevent Manchester City from signing Kevin De Bruyne, from signing Haaland, they wanted to sign Haaland. If they had to go around the table to sign that player because they think it's beneficial, that's when I think the rule was wrong.
But Mo, my problem with all of this, and I keep wanting to move on, but my problem with all of this with FFP, right, is people want to constantly talk about Man City, right? Like Man City are the only owners that are worth billions of pounds. This is what makes me laugh. With everyone goes, oh, these rules are to stop Man City doing this. Chelsea in the last decade have spent more money than Man City. Man United in the last decade has spent more money than Man City. What people are annoyed about is that Man City spend it well, that Man City are well run, and that Man City win everything. Chelsea and Man United, right, do you know what? Here you go. Who spent more money in the last decade, people? Is it Arsenal or Tottenham?
Oh, right.
Tottenham
has spent more money than Arsenal in the last decade.
Spurs,
right? Spurs spent more money. It's our fault that we spend it badly. It's our fault that we spent it badly and not built. Man City, everyone hates them because they spend it sustainably and win things. Yeah. I don't understand the
allegedly, Savva. Allegedly.
Well, allegedly. Look. At the end of the day, I just don't understand. FFP seems to have made football worse, not better. It's like VAR, but off the pitch. I don't think it's done anything for making anything better. And this whole but the smaller clubs can't afford as much as the big clubs. Boo hoo.
But Savva, with FFP, have you even heard anyone complain about FFP until the City situation? I didn't even know it really existed. I heard it was a rumor that happened.
We did.
When? Who's the
Inter did?
Premier League?
And but it's not only FFP is Europe. Inter did, and we got a limited squad for 3 seasons. By the way, one of the fines, Manchester United, when they broke FFP rules.
Bro, we're not talking Serie A, Premier League, man.
But what I mean, Man United broke FFP rules. Conley, Man United broke FFP rules and they paid the fine.
That's more like it.
I think the bit for me it's the bit, as I said, I think it's just to sort of follow up with what you were saying, Sav, was just the point of why can't they spend it? If they're what they're doing wrong, a Man City doing wrong, what? By buying players to improve it. When we say, but they're breaking the rules, what? For making their squad better, what? So this is the argument. We want owners, I'm you Spurs fans, we want owners to go and buy the best players and improve our squad and buy better talent at better rates, this, that, and the other. Yeah, then we have a go at football clubs for a football club well run doing exactly what we want to do. Like this is the point, right? And I think this is where
because Arabs have unlimited money.
The
guy himself is worth 18 billion.
But that's not what's happening, Perchy. That's the thing. That's not what's happening. What's happening the Premier League have made a set of rules, and they've gone and said City have broken those sets of rules, so they should be punished. That's what's going on, not all these other little things that you're saying.
No. But my point is what's the point of the rule then? Answer me that. What is the point? What is the point of FFP? Answer me that. What is the point of the rule to stop what happened?
Simple.
Tell me.
Go buy Neymar for $500 million.
No. That isn't the reason why
FFP
is in for. No. What it's in for is to stop owners outspending their means, ditching the football club, and then leaving the football club to rot and then get dissolved, and then we lose a football club to lose a franchise.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
But that no. Whatever it is, that's the reason why FFP. It's not about. It's about.
Where did you read that?
It's about stopping football clubs.
LB, that's the spoken reason. That's what he's saying.
That's the sporting reason. That's the reason.
That's what
the rule doesn't do that. But you agree the rule doesn't do that.
No, but the rule doesn't do that because what it does what it does is it stops the let's use Luton Town as a great example. Just got promoted, little Luton Town, not in a disrespectful way. But they've got a local guy that just wants to invest £1 billion into their football club and goes, do you know what? We're going to spend loads to push Luton Town up to the Premier League because we want Luton Town in the Champions League. They can't spend that sort of money because they'll breach FFP. Why can't they? The guy's in there goes, I want to spend loads of money to get Luton Town into I'm going to build them a massive, great big stadium. We're going to turn this football club into one of the greatest in the country. Why can't they?
In what other walk of life does this exist? Right?
It doesn't.
If I win the lottery, and I'll just use any chain, and I think, okay, I'm going to go and buy Domino's pizza, right? And I think, right, I want to give every one of my Domino's pizza a new logo, a new storefront. I'm going to buy brand new bikes for everything. Where is there anything saying, oh, you can only spend X amount to do that? Why?
Exactly.
What is the reason behind this? In football, it is to stop owners buying clubs and then leaving them in the dirt. What that's actually been transferred into now is buying footballers. But for me, this is what makes me laugh. When people say it's unfair, it's always been unfair.
Yeah, of course
life is unfair. Yeah, if you are a supporter, I'll just go because they're down the road from me. Charlton Athletic. If you are a Charlton Athletic fan, you know you're not spending as much money on footballers every year as Sunderland, as Norwich. You're not spending the same amount of money because you don't have the same income and your owner's not as rich. That's life. So what has FFP actually done to make football better in any way? Again, controversy after controversy after controversy. I just don't know what we're doing here. Like VAR, just don't know what we're doing here.
Correct. Yeah. No, VAR's not here to protect the small clubs. It's not here to protect anyone. It's to keep the big boys at the top of the table.
Of course.
Which City are now part of the furniture. So City, if City are probably happy with the FFP rules now, they're probably saying turn up the heat because City are now getting those revenues, getting those profits. It benefits City. You know what I mean? That's the truth. The big clubs, the legacy clubs who have been in the Champions League, they need those Champions League revenues to survive. You know what I mean? If they don't get them, then they're going to struggle, and that's why the FFP was there to keep farming the Champions League money. So it is what it is. My eyes were wide open from the the moment these stupid rules were brought in place. It doesn't stop. It doesn't prevent clubs going bust because at the end of the day, if the FFP allows you to make losses, well, that's not really very good, is it? It allows Man United to be in almost £1 billion worth of debt or whatever. That's not very good. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a load of nonsense. And the facts are, the fans of small clubs, I'm talking clubs that get less than 5,000 fans, the dream of, making the Premier League, the dream of getting to the Champions League, it's a lot less likely to happen now because of FFP, which is a shame because the journey I've been on as a City fan is insane. And people then use City did it and Newcastle did it. Like City and Newcastle weren't big clubs before that. That's not the same thing as a Luton Town.
LB, before the FFP situation, how many billionaires were investing in small clubs to win the Premier League anyway? Can you give me some examples?
Well,
what? Billionaires or millionaires or billionaires, did you say?
Billionaires.
Well, first of all, I think
Ahmed
football's
El-Fay
changed.
bought Fulham.
Football's changed because football's now more widely available across the world. So it's now more attractive than it was in the 90s.
It's all across the world, isn't it? Now that's
So
the thing.
now it
course,
is.
it's
But obviously, if you're
global.
a billionaire, you'll probably look at, should I buy a Premier League club? And then the advisor goes, well, you can, but it's going to take a long time to get the club up top because of the financial pressures.
See, one of the things we talked about yesterday, Rance and I were talking about. Sorry, one of the things that that Rance and I were talking. That's helpful. One of the things that Rance and I were talking about yesterday was the fact that we keep talking as though without FFP, people can just come in, pick up a club, chuck in £1 billion, and they win everything. Like I've seen people go, "Oh,
Chelsea?
Newcastle." Hang on, couldn't they? If you let me get to my point, right? Like someone said, Newcastle will just win everything if everyone walks away. But everybody's got billionaire owners now. So why would that be the case? Who have you seen that's come in recent years with all this money and go, boom, let's just win everything?
PSG. Because they have unlimited funds. The difference is even your billionaire owner, let me just put that example. Your billionaire owner, I'm Arab, right? And I lived in Saudi Arabia. The billionaire owners at the end, this is business for them at the end. And I was actually listening to a podcast about business in football. Football isn't a profitable business, actually. It's not. Look at the profits of Man United, one of the biggest clubs. It's only 7 million or something that they profit a quarter. It's all about sports washing. The difference between Saudi Arabia and FSG or the Glazers is that at the end, Saudi Arabia is a state. They have unlimited funds. We saw in the Saudi Arabia, they spend they put 100 billion in the league. Qatar put a budget for the World Cup of 50 billion. The difference between a state-owned club and a billionaire is that at the end, the billionaire, it's a company. There are audits, blah, blah, blah. The states, no.
But Mo, my point is this. Other than when Chelsea did it, because they were the original club that did it. Well, actually, you could go back further and say Blackburn. If we're gonna be really pedantic about it, you could say, well, when Jack Walker rocked up at Blackburn in a different era with different sums. But since Chelsea and Man City were then probably the next big boys to do it, now everyone's got a billionaire owner. I feel like when we have these conversations, we're talking like everyone else's owners work down the factory. Everyone, I think, other than 3 Premier League clubs have billionaire owners. So I don't understand this notion that somebody could just rock up to a football club now, stick in £1 billion and they win the league overnight. You could put in £1 billion to Tottenham Hotspur tonight. We're still not as good as Man City overnight, are we?
If Qatar
maybe not overnight, but in a couple of years. In a couple of years.
But like that, so in a couple of years, does that mean that they're going to stop spending then? So they suddenly become not good enough because we're spending the same amount as them?
Imagine if Qatar bought a club in the Premier League. Were they going to buy Man United?
They tried.
They start buying similar to PSG. They go buy Vinny Jr. They buy someone similar to Haaland. They buy all the superstars in the world with unlimited funds. What would happen? Would you say that's fair? With no regulations. Qatar tomorrow with all this money goes and buys Man United.
You can't have it both
Neymar.
ways.
It should. This is unfair. I would call this is unfair because
why
billionaire owner is completely different. I'm not saying
but the rules are unfair now, though. The rules are unfair now.
I agree with you, of course.
That's what I mean. So, but as Savva mentioned earlier, life's unfair. Life's unfair. Where do we get over it?
Not Savva. Mo, why is that unfair?
Because number one, it's not competitive. Then it's not going to be competitive. People are not going to.
It is going to be competitive. It is going to be competitive because football's not played on an accountancy on a balance sheet. Football's played 11 men on 11. That's why we still get football upsets in the Premier League, in the FA Cup, in the Champions League. Because you can go on about money all you want, but that money doesn't win you stuff, as PSG have found out.
But
PSG haven't won the Champions
PSG
League.
won. PSG walked the league in France by buying the best players. They didn't
Oh,
walk
but
it in
the French league, I don't care about the French league.
Money is given PSG.
I'm just giving an example. I'm giving an example in the
history.
Premier League. Imagine if someone in the Premier League, I'm not talking about, imagine if someone in the Premier League go and bought all the superstars around the world, spent 3-4 billion pounds on a squad, and without looking at anything else. You think that's fair? It's up to
Well,
you.
Chelsea did it
PSG had
already, bro. Didn't
Neymar,
Chelsea do it
Mbappe,
already,
and
no?
Lionel Messi and still didn't win the Champions League. So why do we have to be worried about it? They had the three of the best players in the world and still didn't win the Champions League. Football is not played on the amount of money that someone paid. It's not played on a balance sheet. It's 11 men against 11. It's about the coaching. And at the end of the day, if you spend £1 billion, it does not guarantee success. Everton spent 400
Okay,
million.
so if you took half of Pep's budget he's had since he's been at City, you lot would still win as many trophies as you have. Or what?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, because they don't
I'm not
go out there.
No,
and
no,
they
no,
don't
no,
go
no,
out
no,
and
no,
buy
no. I'm
them.
asking the
But they
City
don't-
fan,
but
bro.
Well, that's not what I
But they-
said. That's not what I said.
No, but you're saying that money's
I
not
agree with
affecting
what
it.
Lewis is
No,
saying.
I hear what you're saying,
LB
LB, but
Yes,
the
but-
fact is, Pep was able to, after his first season, he was able to spend, I think, like 150, 200 million on wing backs, on fullbacks. Who
But it's
gets
all
that
relative.
luxury?
It's
Who
all
gets that
relative.
luxury?
It's
It
all
is
relative, though,
relative,
couldn't
yes,
like?
yes.
It's all relative.
No, but
because-
no, I'm saying if he's not given that money, do
I hear
City
you.
go to win the league
Hang
as
on,
quickly
hang
as
on,
they
hang on.
did with him? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, they do, because it's all relative. Because if Pep Guardiola's not allowed to spend that amount of money at City, then all of his rivals are not allowed to spend the amount of money they're spending. And Pep Guardiola's a better coach than them, all of them anyway. So the players
Does
he
Pep
would be bringing
Guardiola
in.
go
So we
there if
agree,
they are
Sava.
in
So
this
I agree with
situation?
you then. I agree
Thank
with
you.
you.
Hang on, whoa, hang
Sorry,
on, hang
one
on,
time.
hang on,
Man
whoa,
United
whoa.
fan, ask that question again. Sorry, my brother.
Well,
Ask that question
does
again.
Pep go there with the setup that it is? If City haven't, if City have all of the funds available, all of this, does Pep Guardiola, one of the probably the greatest manager in history, go to Manchester City?
But
What, if
but
he
that's
doesn't
a-
have the
that's a-
money?
That's a
If he
moot
does,
point.
no, what I'm saying, LB, is if the setup isn't as it is for City when he went over there, does a Pep Guardiola go there in the first place? Because Pep Guardiola's won you everything.
I don't know
But
what
he
you mean.
goes somewhere else.
I don't get what
Like,
the
I
question
don't
is.
understand.
Yeah, this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
not City. That's the point.
Exactly.
Okay,
Well-
but City, we're only using City as the example because they're that club at the moment. If it wasn't City, it's somebody else. My point is this, right? Let's now imagine all of this. Oh, is it fair if a state-owned country comes in and runs the club, blah, blah, blah? Why not? And this is the last thing I want to say on FFP before we move on. Why not then turn around and say every football club, can only spend X amount of money per window, right? X amount of money. You're allowed to spend 125 million, 150 million per window, right? That will rewrite the transfer fees. And why don't they put a cap on what is the most expensive fee you can demand for a footballer?
You can't do that though, Sava, can you? You can't tell.
No. I know, but what I'm saying is you can't do that. But what they are doing is saying, oh, owners, you can't spend your own money. So if they did that, what is the harm to that? Doesn't that regulate everything?
No.
Everyone
because
can
it's
spend the
different.
same amount of money.
No, because
Everyone can only charge X amount for a player.
No,
Doesn't that
you
then
can't-
bring
you
it
can't-
fairer?
No, it
No,
doesn't, because
never
that's never going to
applied.
work. Because you're then saying you're then revaluing a club's asset in a player. So you're saying to Manchester City could value Haaland at 250, 300 million, and you're saying actually no, that's not worth that. He's worth this amount of money. You can't possibly do that.
I know,
Yeah,
but I'm talking
but
about
all that's. Yes, sorry. All I was going to say, all that does though, if we say, oh, every team can spend £200 million, all that does is top players become less expensive. That's all it will be. Is the Jack Grealishes don't become £100 million players; they become £40 million
50,
players.
yeah, they're 40, 50
I
million.
actually agree with
Everyone's value just drops if you do that. It won't
But
make
it doesn't matter because it's all relative. So that means if you put 200 million,
Yeah.
if Man City bought Haaland, for example, 50 million, and they made him a great player, now if Real Madrid wants to buy him now and his value is 200 million, you'll have to spend all their budget on one player. So it's
Are you not
all,
hurting smaller
it's going to
clubs
be
doing
very fair.
But that's the
It's gonna be
point.
fair. Yes.
But that's the point.
I
Why not?
actually say it in a different way. Salary cap.
No, I know what you're saying, Mo. I know what you're saying. This is my point. Why not? If they turn around and said, right, in transfer windows, you can only sign 5 players a window, but you have to release 5 players, like something that makes it a bit more sustainable rather than, well, we're going to add up all your money over 3 years across what your company makes us. It's just convoluted, isn't it? It's so
I hear it.
convoluted.
There could be a better way, Sava,
Sava,
100%.
If
But
Sava said all are billionaires, right? So all are billionaires, they can spend whatever. If you put something like this or a salary cap, as the UEFA president suggested, and he's actually having club sign into that, that means if you want to go and spend all your salary cap on a superstar, for example, if you have £10 in salary cap and Haaland is demanding 9 of that, it's up to you. You want to give Haaland 9 and divide the rest on a lower class players? It's up to you. That's what the UEFA president is saying.
Yeah, but that's also, I don't agree with that either, though, Mo. I don't agree with that either, because as much as players get fully overpaid, they're getting paid relative to what they're bringing into the football club.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's
relative.
right.
You can make it £1 billion. LB, I'm not saying £10. You can make it £500 million a year. It's up to you if you want to give 50% of that to the superstar of the world.
Yeah, but as you just said, but wait. As you just said, though, if you have a 10, say you have a 10 million cap or whatever, you want to Haaland give 9. That's obviously not going to happen. So the best players in the world are going to be underpaid. They're not going to be paid correctly for what they're providing.
We can raise that. The numbers are not.
But can I?
Well, of course, the numbers are the point. The numbers are exactly the point.
What will happen is if this happens, all it does is all of the best players leave the Premier League and go and play elsewhere. It only works if every country.
That's what I meant.
Is doing it in Europe. Okay, the UEFA president is saying it is a European. It's never going to be one league thing. He said if this applies, it will be across all the leagues in Europe. So that means Real Madrid cannot go and say, "Oh, I'll pay you 10 times what Man City are paying you." We're all abiding by the same rules,
and that just punishes the best players in Europe. That's all that does. So
does it punish them? How? They're still going to go to the best clubs and get paid.
It does punish them. It does punish them, Savva, because if you've got a cap as a squad of what you can pay, right, you've got to make sure that all your players are in line. So you're going to be giving everyone, and then the Haalands and the Mbappes, who should be getting paid big cash because
I never said anything about salaries. I never said anything about salaries.
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about salary cap.
No. I'm talking about a transfer. I'm talking about a transfer cap.
Mo's talking about both.
It's the
same. If I said
Mo,
to
stop
you,
confusing the panel, Mo. Jeez.
Right. If I said to you, right, every window teams can spend the maximum of 200 million, but if you spend 200 million, you must have bought in a minimum of 100 million, right? So that before people make their transfers, when they go through to the FA, because they have to submit to the FA right before they make a transfer to make it official. When they're going through to the FA can turn around and go, hang on, if you spend this much money on this player, you are £15 million over your budget. You need to sell someone before this person can be registered. Like, if not, we're just going to keep doing it. This is just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. No footballer needs to be £200 million. No footballer needs to be £200 million.
They don't need to. They don't need to. But if they're bringing in that because of how good they are, then they deserve to be paid the market rate. And you're saying that they shouldn't be paid the market rate.
No, they should be paid the market rate. I'm saying they should be paid the market rate. But you're not allowed to bring all of them, because you're not allowed in one window to go buy Mbappe, Haaland, Vinny Jr. together. That shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. If you want to buy Haaland, you can buy Haaland by himself, but you have to give other teams a chance to buy other players. Otherwise, people can just outbid, like what Chelsea are doing. Like, I'm gonna just spend that much money. Anyway, it's I think it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Let's move on. I want to talk about something I think probably most of us might agree on. In the last 24 hours, we've seen what can only be described as the flattest, most underwhelming, torrid, awful performance from an England side, whilst lots of very good players were in that England side. I want to talk about Gareth Southgate. I want to talk about, why is this man in a job, and why is he absolutely butchering such a brilliant squad of footballers? Anyone can take this. What does anyone disagree? Like, what's going on here?
The guy's a yes man. He's a yes man. He's got no He's not got no in-game tactical ability. As we've seen, the best one for me that demonstrate that was the Croatia game. I think that the players respect him as a person, but I doubt they respect him as a manager, because he's never won anything. So how can you really respect him as a manager if he's never won anything? He makes the wrong team selections, and I just think he's out of his depth. I think he's done well. I think he's took the team to a decent position, but I think he's got the team to a position now where we need someone that's above him in stature, someone who's won something. Or you've got to go the other way, get an English manager who'll play football the right way. Well, not the right way, but a better way, a more entertaining way, but still probably accept we're not going to win. But I think he needs to go, man. I think he should go.
He did the job, didn't he? He did the job of getting the nation back behind the boys and getting the boys, that harmony, getting rid of the club bias, having them as one. It's worked for that, but I think completely agree with what LB said. I think different managers in charge. If we had a world-class manager in charge against Italy, we wouldn't have gone 1-0 up in 3 minutes and then tried to defend the lead for 87. We need managers that are going to come in and a manager that's going to come in and actually utilize the talent that's not just in that squad that is around English football. There are so many players that miss out, I think, that deserve to be in each squad. And I just feel like the biggest critique I have of Southgate is when he come to the post and he said, "I'll pick players on form," and he's completely just disregarded that. You know, the likes of Maguire. I'm a United fan. Maguire still gets in there somehow. Henderson, how the hell?
He starts matches, bro.
Jack Grealish over Sterling this season.
No, what you're about over.
I know what you're doing, Mo. I know what you're doing. I'm not having it, Mo.
He is Arsenal, isn't he? He is an Arsenal fan. I can see it.
He's definitely not an Arsenal fan.
Mo is being clever because we had a discussion earlier on today, and Mo all of a sudden wants to try and make out that Jack Grealish isn't a very good football player.
That's not honestly. That's not out of a sudden. I've been saying it.
Mo doesn't even rate Sterling, so I don't know how.
Hang on, you don't rate Jack Grealish?
No, I actually think that Jack Grealish last year was the only player that was disposable, that was replaceable at Man City.
Can I ask you a question based on that?
Of course.
Listen, I hate to be that fan that says, well, you know, one of the best managers in the world likes him, so why don't you? But I'm going to be that guy.
You can ask me anything.
Pep Guardiola, we talked about this the other day, LB, right? In every big game I saw last year, in every big game, Mahrez wasn't the guarantee. Foden wasn't the guarantee. Bernardo Silva wasn't the guarantee. Grealish. Every game, big game, Jack Grealish is the one that Pep Guardiola calls upon. Why?
Okay, so his team. I can answer that. I can answer that simply. His team was winning at the end of the season. Bernardo Silva provided something that is different than Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez was providing the flair. Pep Guardiola wanted more control. However, I think Jack Grealish, his job was just to keep the ball and do something that a lot of other players could have done that. Bernardo Silva, not a lot of people could have replaced him. Gundogan, I can name that all of them other than Jack Grealish. He was getting players towards him, winning fouls. A lot of players can do, which is proved.
But they can't, can they?
They
can't.
Let me finish.
No,
they can. A lot of players can, which proved this year when Jeremy Doku arrived at the club and he provided something different. He completely started Doku in most of the games. The reason why Jack Grealish was playing last year, it's an expensive toy that Man City bought. And he didn't want that to fail. So Jack Grealish wasn't hurting the team, but I don't think he was benefiting the team that much. Of course, he's part of the 11 players, right? But the fact that Man City fans keep telling me that it's instructions, so why now he's given instructions to Doku because he can do it? Jack Grealish has been doing that for Aston Villa. Somehow he went to Manchester City and he didn't do that. But Jeremy, my proof is that Jeremy Doku starts every game now and he's lighting up the Premier League.
Hang on, and I'm going to bring in. I'm going to ask LB here. I'm not an expert on this, but I'm pretty sure didn't Jack Grealish just come back from a big injury for one? No, and two, I'm sorry. So the reasoning behind the best manager in the world playing one player more than the others in a treble-winning season is because he's not as good as the others.
He had no others. Just a little. He had no left wingers as well. He had no left wingers as well that were fit to play that role. That is my opinion as well.
No. But look, Savva, I hear what Mo's saying to an extent. I don't agree with the whole Jack Grealish thing. I think Grealish is a baller.
I'm not saying Jack Grealish is a bad player, guys. You're not hearing me.
No, but do you know why? Do you know why I think you are? Wait, Mo, no, because you spoke for 3 minutes. No, but you know why I'm saying you are? Before you say that, but you know why I'm saying that you don't rate him? Because I know you don't rate Sterling, but you want Sterling in the squad over Grealish.
You're misquoting me. When I say I think Jack Grealish is replaceable, doesn't mean I don't rate him. He's a great player. But is he the one that was replaceable at City last year? Yes. When I say, for example, because I just explained to you. I don't get it.
But hang on. But you explained
my opinion.
Okay, in your opinion. But if he was replaceable, why is he the only one that wasn't replaceable? You do realise Phil Foden can play off the left.
You do
Phil
as
Foden, by the
Riyad
way, was
Mahrez can
injured
play out
most
from
of the
wherever he
season.
wants.
He was injured most of the season.
Not
That
most
second
of
half
the
season.
season.
Was he?
No,
A
Was
big
he
part.
most
A
of the
big
season?
part. Yes.
All right,
A big
I'm going to
part.
have to do my,
Yes.
my fact finding to see how much
Go, yeah, go check.
porcupines
Phil
are going on
Foden.
here.
LB can correct me if I'm wrong.
Nah,
Wasn't
but
Phil Foden
you know what,
injured?
Mo?
Go
Like
ahead.
LB, I do need answers about one situation because I agree with nearly everything Mo said, but I need the explanation to why Doku looks like he's been given freedom, whereas Grealish didn't. Is that an instruction thing, or he's
But they're
just
different
expressed
players.
himself?
Yeah,
No, but
be.
they play in the same position. So, and Grealish
But they're different
can
players.
do a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
that.
I
No,
would
but
just
I
say
hear
they're
you.
different.
But
Okay, but the answer to the question, you just answered the question. The answer to the question is they're different players.
They're different
Haaland,
players. Yeah.
Haaland and Alvarez are both strikers. When Alvarez plays as a striker, he plays completely different to Haaland. That's the same situation. Gvardiol and Ake are both left backs. They both play completely
no,
different.
but what the question is, like Grealish is reduced his game. He's changed his game for City, like
Yes.
to the point where he's
Thank
not
you.
taking on players like he used to.
Has he
He's not
reduced his
being
game?
as
What do you mean by that?
creative. No, that's what I mean. He's not as creative and integrate as making that last decision in the final third like he used to. He's not.
I think people make out like this guy got a bare G
role as the main man that he can do.
I think it's more. He's had to be more disciplined. I think he's come into a Manchester City
Of course
side
it is. Yeah.
that is well oiled, and everyone knows exactly what their jobs are. Let's be honest. At Villa, Jack Grealish.
But what about Doku
play
though,
wherever
bro?
he
Why
wants.
isn't Doku as playing as disciplined as him then? If that's what we're saying.
Because
They're different players, right?
he's a different player. They've bought in Doku to replace Mahrez, so to speak, from what Mahrez offers you. But what I don't get is I just really to quickly prove Mo wrong. I do like doing this, right? So you remember Phil Foden was injured for most of the season. Do you remember that? You just said that, right? So last season, just so you know, Jack Grealish in all competitions played 50 games for Man City. 50. Anyone want to have a guess how many Phil Foden played in all competitions for Man City? Bearing in mind he was out injured for most of the season.
47.
40.
I'll go 40. It's 41.
40.
Yeah, you've had a howler, bro.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
48 appearances.
Out of 50 games.
Huh?
Out of 50 games. The guy was
I'm sure there were a few where Jack Grealish didn't play, but this is what I mean. This is what I don't understand. When Pep Guardiola plays, there isn't going to be one that plays every week. Foden, Grealish. I mean, I could probably do the same right now for Mahrez. Looking at the same, none of them play week in, week out, but Grealish, just to put Kunle in his place, don't worry, I'm coming for you as well, Kunle. For a player that's not very creative, didn't he create the most chances in the entire Champions League campaign last year from any player at any club?
I don't know.
The reason I'm saying
if that's a legit flat, then yeah,
right.
I respect
it.
No, but I rate Grealish. I just want to know.
I know you do.
Why,
I know you do.
I just don't know why it seems that. I just want to know why it looks like Doku's been given a bit more freedom. That's how it looks. I'm not saying that. I don't think he's a bit.
Okay, so I think there's two parts to this. First of all, Jack Grealish did an interview recently with City's in-house team, and he said when he was at Villa, Dean Smith said to Jack Grealish, just go wherever you went on the pitch. He gave him the free roll, right? Pep Guardiola don't give players free rolls. You've all heard the Henry story where Henry was playing left wing and he said, stay left wing, stay left wing. The guy went out of his position, scored a goal, and he got subbed off at half time because he broke the rules of Pep Guardiola. I think Grealish is doing what he's supposed to do for Pep Guardiola, which works, by the way, because we won the Premier League and then won the treble. Yes. And I don't believe actually Doku is doing a massive difference. I just think the way he goes about his take-ons is just more extravagant.
It's more direct.
Skills. I think it's more direct. You see, Grealish still takes on players. He doesn't take it on at the same rate as Doku, but I just think Doku, because of the way that he takes on players, etc., it just looks like he's completely different. But actually, I don't really think he's doing too much different. He just takes players on a little bit more.
The difference is, Jack Grealish,
and that's all I wanted. There'll be an answer. I didn't say I was right.
Two games this year, Jack Grealish. When I did some shows after the game, and I saw this Jack Grealish is the Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. He took players, created chance. I think against Young Boys and against another team in the Premier League when he came on. He was the Jack Grealish of Aston Villa that was worth 100 million. What I was watching from Jack Grealish last year, he was so cautious when he played. To get players trying to draw the foul and instead of actually trying to dribble or create something. You said that he created the most chances. I checked the fact. Yeah, he created chances. But for creating big chances, he's not even close to the top 20, actually, in big chances in the Champions League. But so we can go about the stats, me and you. I'm talking about my eye test. So let me finish that. My point, please. Let me finish my point, please. When I was watching, because I'm doing you now. I'm doing you now.
Let me talk.
Now, the last thing about that, when I was watching Jack Grealish last year, I did not think he was providing some big things to the Man City team that was brilliant. John Stones was providing more. I thought even on the right, Bernardo was providing more. And I thought Jack Grealish, maybe his role was limited for Pep Guardiola. I'm not in the dressing room. But when I watched Doku this year, and I'm saying, oh, so you are allowed to do that. Now Jack Grealish goes on the pitch and he's doing what Doku did, sometimes better, because he's allowed to, or because sometimes he is saying, no, I got to.
So are we saying, did Pep Guardiola get it wrong how he managed Jack Grealish last year?
No, I can't say that. Of course, they want to.
I know you didn't say it. I'm asking. I'm asking.
If I sit here and tell you yes, I'm an idiot because they want to tribble.
Okay, so for what Pep Guardiola likes, though, from what I've always seen from his days at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, he always has two wingers that are very different to each other. One is more of your hold up, retain possession, drag everyone up the field, keep the ball, draw fouls. The other one is a bit more direct. So if you take his Barcelona days, for example, you had Pedro, who was very much the very different players, but in the same mold as Doku. Direct, get the ball, beat a man, run at your player. Yeah. Whereas on the other side, he had Henry in a bit more of that role, where Henry's game was a bit tempered. Henry's game was a bit more, right, hold the ball up. Don't do what you were doing at Arsenal as much. Isn't this all about the Pep Guardiola system rather than...
Henry was a hold-up player? I disagree with that. Henry was a direct player from the left.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was asked more.
He meant he changed his game, bro. You know what he
changed his game. He changed his game a little bit. So you're saying that...
He changed his game a lot.
So to understand what you're saying, is that you think that Jack Grealish changed his game last year to accommodate what Pep is asking?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
You could see.
Actually, if you say that, right? I agree with you. Which means for me that Jack Grealish was a limited player last year because
but
Pep
the
Guardiola
difference when you're saying
limited,
but when you're saying limited, Mo, the problem is when you are, and no disrespect to anyone at Aston Villa, when you are the main man at Aston Villa in a team that just about scraped relegation, right? You are given free reign. Go and do what you want. Everyone else, just get the ball to Jack. That's your job. I don't care if we're on the right wing. Switch the ball. Get it to Jack. Jack. He's the main man. He comes to Man City and he's not the main man. He comes to Man City and he's not De Bruyne. He's not Bernardo Silva. He's not Erling Haaland. He's not Rodri. He is another one of those players that can rotate in and out and has his job in the team. So Pep's never going to turn around to a player like Jack Grealish and say, you know what, just go and have carte blanche. Just go and do what you do. Because Man City, LB could correct me if I'm wrong, Man City's game is about retaining possession of the football at all costs. Yeah, they retain. That's why they always have possession of the ball because they don't go
worse
gung
than all the
ho.
players you mentioned, or he's different?
Sorry?
Is he worse than all the players? You mentioned some names now. Is he worse or different?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
what
so you just mentioned he isn't that, he isn't this, he isn't that, he isn't that, and you mentioned a lot of flair players.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, he's better. He's better than
them. He's better than all of them.
I think he's better at all of them for drawing the fouls. His strength on the ball is underrated. He can drag you up the pitch, hold on to it. He can go left or right. And I mean, again, I'll bring in LB.
This is a politician answer for you, Savva, man. This is not like you, man. This is too
he
asked you who's better, and you started listing attributes.
No, he said he's better.
But Kunle, but here's
he literally said he's a
critical
better
thinking,
player.
my friend. The thing is he better? Is he better than Riyad Mahrez at holding onto the ball, drawing fouls, bringing others into the game? Yes, because Mahrez is probably a little bit more direct, get the ball under control, cut in, have a shot, whipping across. They're again, different footballers that we're trying to pigeonhole to do the same thing. Hence why he bought him. I mean, LB will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what his job in the team was. But
I think he's fitting into the system that Pep Guardiola wants him to do. And I think he's doing everything that Pep Guardiola wants him to do. I think it's that simple, man. And I think when you play for Pep Guardiola, system comes first. I think that's the way the game goes.
And that's the bottom line, to be fair. He's doing what Pep wants.
Asked him, if he's doing what Pep wants, and that's how he looked on the pitch, fine then.
And they won a treble.
And all this,
Yeah, that's the part. That's the thing.
Like
They
that-
won the
that's
treble.
kind of like the icing on the cake of everything.
Like,
this
LB, I would have just
every
I would have
time-
just kept saying for
every
5
time
minutes,
I
but we won a
talk
treble.
about-
But we won a
every
treble. I don't know
time
why
I
you
talk about-
wasted your breath on anything
Yeah,
else.
every
I'm like,
time
we
I
won a
talk
treble.
about a
Worried
player,
they're gonna
and
lose
if I
it.
don't like, if I criticize something they do, people come back and say, but they won the treble. As any team that won a treble doesn't have there are players that are better than others, of course.
Of course, there are players that are better than others, but I thought. Listen,
I
just me
think Jack
personally,
Grealish
I thought
is the
Jack
one that was
Grealish
replaceable in that
sensational
team.
last year.
Or I didn't think so.
And
I tried to explain
You know what?
it.
I'm
The
gonna
problem
go
is I
with
tried
I'm
to
gonna go with
explain
Pep
it.
Guardiola for the fact that he didn't drop him in big games. That he didn't think he was droppable in
Yeah,
those
Pep
games
Guardiola
either.
knows better than me, of course.
No, but
And they won a
LB,
treble.
do you think without Jack Grealish last season, you could have still won the league? The treble, sorry, not the league, the treble. It's a whole.
I still think.
Rah, wow, I didn't think you'd take that long to answer that
Well,
one.
this is why I kind of like. I kind of get what Mo's saying. I just don't think it's come across in the right way.
Probably, maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I still think we could have won the league last year if we would have played Foden on the left hand side. Yeah, but that
treble
doesn't
there?
mean. Right, I don't see why we couldn't have won the
My
treble.
point,
with
LB,
Foden
and I
left
get
wing
your point.
last
My
year.
point is that I can name about 5 or 6 players in the City squad that if they weren't there, your chances of winning the treble would have been way less if you have replaced Grealish. That was always my point. I'm not saying Jack Grealish is a bad player. He's a professional football player that provided a lot of flair at Aston Villa. Even this year, we saw the ability that he can do. My point is there are a lot of other players that do some jobs that if they were removed from Manchester City would have less chances of winning the treble. That's my point.
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe it's as easy as that.
Listen, I hear you. I'm just looking at all of the attacking options they had that weren't strikers last year, and Jack Grealish played more football than any of them.
Which is fine. I just provided a statement. If I provided a statement to the Man City fan, and if he disagrees with me, he could have told me that he disagrees with me.
I'm just saying. Like, I just feel like he gets a lot of bad rep. By the way, listen, Kunle, I know you need to leave, and we will end in 5 minutes as well. But Kunle, if you need to jump, thanks, bro. Listen, please get over to Tunnel TV. The link is in the bio, please. The link is in the bio of this show. Please get over and show love to Kunle and his crew over there at Tunnel TV. So big up. Thanks for coming on, mate.
And smash the likes, everybody, man. Thanks everyone on the panel. Big up, man. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Mate. And just for the last 5 minutes, guys, there's been over 250 people at some point, which is expected for international break, but only 89, 90 likes. Come on, people. This is
embarrassing.
It's becoming a bad thing. This we used to get likes all the time. Smash the likes. This all started with talking about Gareth Southgate, and it descended into a.
This is what Gareth Southgate does to you. This is what he does to you.
It does.
So my I'm not English, and I don't support the England national team. I support Italy since I was like 10 years old. And I'm looking at this generation, and I'm saying this is probably the best generation I've watched, most balanced generation with a lot of talent. Because even with the Gerrard, Scholes, and Lampard, you didn't have a proper DM. Now you have Declan Rice. You had Calvin Phillips, who was absolutely brilliant during the Euros before the Man City time. And I'm watching the football, and it's not great. However, he got you to a final of the Euros, semi-final of the World Cup, and a quarterfinal, where you lost to a superior team in France last year. If Harry Kane scored that and this, but France were a very, very good team. Do you think if you sack this manager, who would you hire to play a better football? That's the question. International manager.
Anyone on this panel.
Anyone.
Management is
I'd get Mourinho. I'd get Mourinho.
LB's gone in with the big guns.
Who
LB's
has
gone in with
no
the
experience in international football, LB.
Well, you talk about Southgate who's only managed Middlesbrough.
He managed 7 years of international football is a lot.
And still not getting any better, is it?
Are you seriously telling me that you wouldn't take Mourinho over Southgate? Are you seriously
not
saying
the
that?
Mourinho of this era, because Mourinho has lost it.
No. I disagree. I think Mourinho's lost it in the club game. I think he needs to step out of the club game. I think international management would suit Mourinho to a T. Less pressure, less intense. You know, he don't have. There's no transfer.
I heard what Mo was saying about Southgate. Sorry, I had to just have my. Mo, what are you talking about, bro?
Come on, man.
Mo, what are you? Mo, what? bruv. I
asked a
can
simple
manage.
question.
I can manage this England team better than Southgate, bro. He's a clown. He's done a great job in terms of getting them to the point where they're competing.
He's a clown.
But
He's done a great job.
hold on. Yeah, both of those statements can be true. But what I would say, he's done really well in terms of bringing the fans back. Everyone's kind of united, getting them to believe they can get to a major tournament final. But the issue with Southgate is even if England are winning 1-0 in a World Cup final with 3 minutes to go, I still believe he can fuck that up. That's how bad it is. Real talk. I still believe, and what he did in the Euros proved to me. He thought he could go 90 minutes with 1-0 against Italy. Are you joking, bro? Change it up. Second half, you change it up.
As well, by the way,
Literally, you bring Saka on at half time. The whole game changes. You don't wait till they go equalize 1-1. He just doesn't have that tactical nous in critical parts of games that can get England over the line. A big up, man. Thanks, everyone.
What I'd say about Southgate is this. For me, I sit there and like we could easily. The fact that we can see Sarah in the windows. No, the thing is, for me, with the Gareth Southgate situation, I always sit back and go, manager's good, like in a sense of he did his job. He galvanised the team when it was all going wrong. But the red flag to me happened when he messed up against Croatia and went, hang on a minute, 1-0 up, 5 or 10, was it? When Trippier hits that free kick and you go, okay, guys, we're going to the final here. It's that moment. And then you saw the game unravel and go, hang on, why are we not going to put these to the sword? Get the second, kill the game and win it. He doesn't. They equalise. They then go and win it in added time. Mark 1, you go, okay, benefit of the doubt. He won't make that mistake again. Wembley. Final against Italy. Your Italy, Mo. A team that, no disrespect, an aged Italian side.
A mediocre team. Just let's say it is.
Hang on. Go 1-0 up early. Luke Shaw. You go, okay, at Wembley, we're going to win this, guys. Then what happens? We sit and defend for the rest of the game, concede, then lose on penalties. Like, you sit back and go, if there was ever a final for England that should have won a game and didn't, was that final. Oh, in our own backyard, partisan fan base, all going our way. And somehow Gareth Southgate found a way not to win that game of football. Sorry.
Can we call it for what it is? Can we call it for what it is? Like, I get it. And like, I've got a couple of my best mates, absolutely love him. Oh, he's the best English manager since we won the thing. Well, first and foremost, he's been the manager for 7 years. Any team that's had the same manager for 7 years should be going onto that pitch, well-oiled, well-drilled, with a formation, a pattern and style of play. Everyone fits in seamlessly to it. I watch England and I'm like, what are you doing? He's got Trent Alexander-Arnold playing in central midfield, but never, ever plays there for Liverpool. Rico Lewis is just chucked out to left back on his debut. You know, welcome to the England national team. Oh, go and play on the left back. Yeah, you've got Cole Palmer sitting on the bench when we've already qualified. Harry Maguire's playing every God-given minute when you've got Dunk, Tamori, Guehi, Colwill, Konza, all of these players. What is he doing? Jordan Henderson has literally retired. He's gone to Saudi Arabia and literally retired to play in front of 700 fans. Straight into the England squad. Not just the England squad, when it's a big game, straight into the England 11. Rashford, doesn't matter how bad he's playing. Go on, son, you play for England. This guy's got there's nothing for the players behind his favourites to say, you know what, if I do really well, I'm going to play for England here. None of them.
But we said this yesterday, right? We said this yesterday on the watch long. We did the watch long. We said, what must the likes of Lewis Dunk sit back and go, what have I got to do to get into the team?
Wasn't he?
Yeah, I know he's. But
I don't mean one game in general.
Just in general. Yeah. James Ward-Prowse at West Ham playing out of his skin must sit there and go, what have I got to do to play for England? Because it doesn't matter how good I'm playing for West Ham right now. Jordan Henderson, who's playing out in Saudi Arabia around 700 people, still starts over me. What's the we always got told that the incentive, if you're playing well for your club, you get an opportunity for England. There's no opportunity because the same players get picked. Like Esri Konza, someone just put up on the comments. Another great point. Another great point. What does he have to do to start a game for England? How well does he have to play to start for England? Let's be honest. If James Maddison wasn't playing so well for Tottenham, if he wasn't playing for Tottenham and he was playing for Newcastle, just pick him. Does he get injured? Because he never picked him when he was playing out of his skin last season. The only one for Leicester that could have his head held high last season didn't even get a look in.
Like, I think he bowed to media with Maddison with the World Cup. I think that's the first time we saw him bow to the media. I think.
Yeah, and then he did it again with Foden. Do you remember at the World Cup? It was like people are putting pressure because every game it's Saka and Rashford, Saka, Rashford. It's like, oh my God, like you've got Grealish, Maddison, Foden, these people that are playing very well week in, week out. Listen, I don't want to drag the show on too much longer. We've done the hour and a half, but I just can't stand him as a manager. I can't stand him. And I'll ask this question: would any of you take him at your club as manager?
No.
We're bad, but we're not.
He managed one club in his life, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so there's your answer as to why I wouldn't want him as. Like, how can you have a manager that wouldn't be able to go into Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Newcastle, and we're entrusting him with people like Bellingham, Kane, Declan Rice, Tomori, whatever. But listen, lads, thanks so much for coming on. Some fiery debates, really enjoyed that. LB, thanks for coming on, mate. Where can people find you?
Yeah, I got a personal channel. It's LB. Second channel, more LB, and then I do the Monday night show with Dan, United First on Football 12 Man. So that's the main sort of places, and then just like the random shows that we do randomly.
Soon to be League One.
Soon to be doing the League One round.
What are you talking about, bro?
LB, I love you, mate.
You're the only team that's failed FFP this year. Just have it right.
Yet.
Oh, dearie me. So go and follow LB at It's LB. And if that's not enough, go and follow him at More LB. Thanks for coming on, mate. Dan, at United First. Where can people find at United First?
TikTok, my man. I'm on TikTok. It's quick and easy. That's the worst thing to fucking say, isn't it? That is the worst way to describe it. TikTok at United First, posting my gripes with everything to do with Manchester United.
His apologies for failing FFP. His club's a cheat, so he has to
just keep it coming. I can't wait for this, LB. That pillow sat behind you, mate. You are going to be crying into that pillow. When this all comes up, my man, I can't wait. You sit there on your throne, sir. You sit there on your throne. Heavy is the crown, mate. Heavy is the crown.
So get over to TikTok.
and also, as LB said, also on there, 12 Man on a Monday night, with sharing the screen with an all right City fan. He's one of the good ones, to be fair.
Yeah, he is. He is good. Judge Mo, where can people find you, mate?
Footy Judge Mo, just one channel. Maybe soon extra Judge Mo and more Judge Mo. I like this. I like what LB is doing because I'm following both channels, and both channels are actually brilliant. He has I think he put some small clips and reactions, and I like what he's doing with reacting to other people's videos. It's amazing actually to watch. But Footy Judge Mo, simple and easy, a show or two a day, and we'll just wait to see the people there trying to grow the channel.
If the people on the comments are right, Mo, will it be Arsenal Judge Mo soon as well? They seem
last year, because I like Antonio Conte, I would call the Spurs fan because I liked Antonio Conte, and then some people say I'm a City fan because I guess I think that Pep Guardiola changed football forever, and people say you're a City fan, and whatever you say, you're always going to be labeled.
If anyone wants to see me on, Footy Judge Mo, Arsenal, Man City, Italy, Inter Milan, I'll be on that tomorrow at 1 p.m. I always forget 1 p.m. And Perchy, where can people find us?
You can find us here at Football Heritage TV. So if you haven't, subscribe right now because we're 20 subscribers away from 11,900. Also, don't forget, at FHTV Clips, make sure you sub into the second channel. We'll be getting some stuff over there shortly and soon. Come on, let's do this.
Big up, everyone. Listen, thanks very much for your time. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week for episode 3 of Rivals React. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.